Okay, folks, Andrew Bopros here. Well, I'm going to do a quick video talking about the Chargers-Browns game. We've already had a head coach let go today. Saints, Dennis Allen, head coach, was let go this morning. Not necessarily a huge surprise because, again, he had a rough patch last season as well, but plenty to talk about the Browns. I'm also going to talk quite a bit about some potential trade targets. I do still think there's a couple people that we could go after before tomorrow's trade deadline. So, as always, folks, plenty to get into. Let's get in. Bull Bros! Okay, folks, as always, like and subscribe if you do enjoy the content. I'm Andrew Bopros. And again, Dennis Allen, unfortunately, is no longer a head coach. I think he was on a bit of a short leash. Season did not turn out well. It is what it is. The NFL is a harsh sport, a hard place to, what do they say? It's not for long. That's what the NFL stands for. So, fortunately, he's no longer there. Again, I think a lot of people would have said he probably should have been let go last season, much like BS. We don't want to say his name for the Chargers. But let's talk a little about the Chargers and the Browns game. But again, the whole reason why I'm having a conversation about him is that I do think that he's a big part of the conversation as to why players are going to be available. So I'm going to talk more about that here in a second as well. So let's talk a little bit about this. Justin Herbert put together a great performance, 18 for 27, almost 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no interceptions, right? So as we know, Herbert is dealing. Our boy Herb looking amazing, guys. And I tell you right now, and again, third straight week of over 275 yards passing, second consecutive contest of multiple passing touchdowns, no interceptions. I mean, his statistics are just through the roof right now. And again, he's battled through all those injuries, and he's just, guys, we all know what a stud he is, right? So let's just say it like it is, right? And Herbert has just been absolutely incredible. Love to see what he's doing. Again, I will say this though, the second half struggles have been popping up again. That is a concern, guys, because you want to be able to finish teams out. Whatever we're not doing the second half of games to somehow combat what they're doing defensively, we've got to fix that. We've got to address that conversation and improve in the second half. So that's one thing I could take away, that I think for whatever reason, we're just getting either too conservative or we're just playing a little soft or timid, or I don't know, just resting on our laurels. That's not something I want to see moving forward. We need to put teams away, right? Put them to sleep. Good teams like the Chiefs, good teams like the Ravens and the Lions, they can score points at will. So it is incredibly important that we continue to play solidly through the entire 4 quarters. So that is a big concern. Definitely something that was brought up on our live yesterday. But again, I just can't say enough. And again, going back to Dennis Allen, how much this man right here has changed the culture of this organization, Jim Harbaugh, and bringing in players and giving them an opportunity. And if you have not watched the post-game locker room speech, that Jim Harbaugh delivers, he's a man of the people, right? That's what he is, right? A lot of those players just love him and for what he is and the energy he brings. I also like in there that Joe Ortiz is in there, the entire Spanos family's in there in that locker room, and they're involved in the team. And guys, it's just exciting to see this team win and see them be as successful as they can be. And against seeing people like J.K. Dobbins having great games as well. It's really exciting. And I can't say enough about how much Jim Harbaugh has changed his team. That's why we're successful. But going on to some of the other things that I'll say, and I just wanted to talk about specifically as far as, some good takeaways for this game. Quentin Johnston is looking like the wide receiver that we wanted him to be. And guys, he catches the ball over his shoulder. We know that was a huge problem. I could sit back all day and just he just was struggling. It was a confidence issue. Sanjay Lal, our wide receiver coach, has gotten him moving the right direction. And it's exciting to see. And bottom line, we know that he is 110%, on that upward trajectory. And it's so exciting to see because we all know his talent. And guys, how about that catch that he had at the end of the second quarter going into the half? Ran that ball, flipped it to Ladidi McConkey, right? And then, they kind of had that little scramble. Oh my gosh, that was incredible. I'm going to do a short on that for sure, but absolutely incredible. But wide receiver Quentin Johnston led the team receiving 118 yards and 4 catches and a 66-yard touchdown. And this is obviously a picture of it right now. Absolutely incredible what he's doing. And it just goes to show you that a good coaching staff, a good leader is huge. And that's the difference in this organization. We have not had that for such a long time, and the sky's the limit where we're moving forward. But this stat's actually a little bit off right now. It's actually 6 quarterback sacks, 3 interceptions, and a blocked field goal, which is absolutely incredible. So, the Chargers clearly 6 sacks, 3 interceptions, goal by Tier Tart was just incredible. The defense is amazing. Number 1 defense in the league, statistically speaking. Guys, they held Nick Chubb to 2.9 yards rushing. Folks, that is insane. Insane. And I can sit back all day, right? Morgan Fox, Tarheeb Still, obviously Khalil Mack, incredible what we're able to do defensively, guys. And again, Derwin James said something really interesting at the end of this game. He said, look, we're communicating because he was specifically asked why, with basically the same players you had last year, how are you now the number 1 defense? And he said, we're communicating. We know what we're doing. We're not confused. And it goes back to keeping it really simple. I think defense does not need to be complicated. And I think Jesse Minter just came in and made it really simple, made it easy for these guys to go do what they need to do. And Jesse Minter is a big part of that. So again, you just can't say enough about how awesome the defense is. And bottom line, defense wins championships, guys, as you know. But again, Morgan Fox here, 2 sacks. And I just, across the board, Bosa is getting healthy. Thule is absolutely incredible. Thule's PFF scores are just through the roof. I think he was almost a 90 PFF score. Bosa's getting back. He's not 100%. You know that. I know that. He knows that. But guys, Morgan Fox is stepping up. Tier Tart stepping up. It is so exciting to see what this team can be when we get fully healthy. And again, guys, at the end of the day, we're winning and we're moving forward as a team. I want to talk now. That game was great. We won. We all know it wasn't close. It was like 27-10. It should have been 27-3. But I want to talk about some potential trade targets. And again, I keep seeing people talk about T. Higgins. I don't know that he's going to come to the Chargers. I want to ask you a question. Do you think he's a cultural fit for this team? Again, I've talked about this, right? I talked about Jim Harbaugh. I've talked about Dennis Allen, right? And Jim Harbaugh and Dennis Allen are 2 different head coaches, 100%. I would argue, and you let me know what you guys think. T. Higgins, I don't think is the right cultural fit for the Chargers, and he's going to want a lot of money. So it would be just a rental for 1 year. We'll see what happens, but you cannot diminish his talent. This young man has so much talent. He's only 25 years old. Absolutely an amazing freak of nature, and would be absolutely incredible to have on this team. But I do question his cultural fit within this organization. So what are your thoughts? Leave a comment down below. Another guy, again, I love Mike Williams. A lot of people are like, yeah, we don't need this guy, blah, blah, blah. I get it. I completely understand why we would not want to go out and get Mike Williams, but we get him cheap. We're still paying him money. I think we're paying $10 million this year in salary cap, dead cap. So we could probably get him for pretty cheap. The Jets pretty much front-loaded his contract, so we can get him very cheap. He would be a cheap version of T. Higgins. Again, not T. Higgins, not athletic T. Higgins. Been hurt a lot, as we all know. But I do think Mike Williams will get moved. I would love to see him back with the Chargers as a red zone target. So it'd be interesting to see how that plays out, especially with Simi Fehoko. Who knows what's going to happen with him specifically? I haven't seen anything today on that. But, and again, I should also say this too. I have not seen any major moves with any of these players as I'm filming this video also. So just so you guys know. But again, I would love to see Mike Williams back. He knows Justin Herbert. Again, it would be a 1-year deal. They probably, trade away a pick and then have Mike Williams, so we'll see how that plays out, for the year. And then we'll get a comp pick after he signs somewhere else at the end of this season. So I like Mike Williams coming back. Again, what are your thoughts? Leave a comment down below. And the one everyone keeps talking about is David Njoku. We saw him and we know what he can do. And again, the argument to me is he's not the best blocking tight end, right? And, in this scheme, again, he's not bad. Okay, let's make that very clear. He's above average. He's very good, but he's more of an offensive weapon. My one argument with David Njoku is that, again, we would have kept probably someone like a Donald Parham, right? Donald Parham is a below average blocker, right? The whole reason why he's not on this team is he doesn't block well. Njoku is a bit of a freak of nature, right? And yes, he's a big target. Yes, he's amazing. But it's also tough to just come in mid-season and be a productive tight end, blocker, and everything you need to do during the season, right? So again, do I love him to death? He's much like T. Higgins, in my opinion. Love to have him. Not sure he's a great fit for the Chargers, though. So I kind of asked myself this question. What do you think, guys? I think he could be someone that could potentially get moved. We all know that. I mean, I was watching everything after the Browns game, and man, they're just like, oh, this team sucks, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's bad, right? I mean, the knives are out, guys, and people are about to get stabbed. One last guy I'll think about that I think could make some sense. Cornerback from the Patriots, which is, why am I drawing a blank on his name? Oh, my goodness. Sorry, guys, here. Jonathan Jones, cornerback for New England. Again, Patriots are done. Their goose is cooked. They're not making the playoffs, as we know. But again, you might say to yourself, well, Andrew, we have a really good secondary, Cam Hard and Tarheeb Still. Yes, we do. But you can get this guy as another cornerback. In this league, you need cornerbacks, and cornerbacks get hurt because guess what? They're smaller compared to linebackers, running backs, and other players, and even wide receivers, right? They take pretty solid hits. And you got to look, when you got a 210-pound guy coming at you full steam and you're 180 pounds soaking wet, like an Asante Samuel Jr., you can get hurt pretty bad. And that's the concern you have. That's why Cam Hart's size is not. Tarheeb Still is also a little undersized, but he's a very fast, very good corner. Jonathan Jones, I think, could be a good pickup, very cheap. I think he has, again, 2 Super Bowl champion, average career worst, 116 passer rating. Again, so I don't know what they would want for him, but arguably he could be a very good pickup for us in free agency. So I'd be very curious to see what happens with that. I do like the idea of that. Now, a couple other notable mentions that I might say. Azeez Ojulari, linebacker for the Giants. I have loved him. He's just coming back. Look, I think he is a fantastic edge rusher. I don't know that the Giants will let him go, but again, I love him. I would love to see the Chargers go get him as a depth piece. Again, Bosa's hurt. We don't know what's going to happen with Bosa. Hell, we could even trade Bosa away to the Giants and then get Azeez Ojulari and they just swap players. Who knows what could happen, right? Again, this is where Joe Ortiz is going to have to do some cooking. Zadarius Smith, we just saw him with the Cleveland Browns. He is fantastic. I would love him as well, but I think he'll go. Myles Garrett ain't going anywhere, right? Especially after a 3-sack performance against the Chargers. But a lot of people think that he might go to the Lions. We'll see how that plays out. Again, I already talked about Jonathan Jones. Chase Young's another one I think could be a good one as well, too. I like Chase Young, and again, he's with the Saints, right? We all know what happened to Dennis Allen. That team is in dismantle mode. They got a huge salary cap problem moving forward, so we'll see what happens. And then Dalvin Thompson, defensive tackle. The Browns, I think he did a good job. Again, that pass rush is pretty nasty for the Browns. I like him personally. But again, you worry about, injuries moving forward, right? And I do think we have some nice defensive linemen that we're rotating through. But again, Kendrick Bourne would probably be my last one, wide receiver from the New England Patriots. I do like him as well, too. So anyways, these are some of my thoughts on some potential trade targets and some of my thoughts on the game as well, too. Very curious to hear what your thoughts are. And if there's some people that I'm missing on this list that you'd like to see me talk about, again, we're going to do a video tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be election night. Go out and vote. And then also secondarily, it's going to be the big trade deadline. Are the Chargers going to make a move or are they not going to make a move? What are your thoughts? Leave a comment down below. All right, folks, as always, Andrew Boltbros. See you guys in the next one.
Hey, what's up? Cameron Dick here watching Bolt Bros podcast. Let's go.
Charged up, Bolt Bros on the night.